What's up, people? One Up Punch here. So I bought this game recently as of today, June 7th, 2025, and it came out in early access because I do have notifications pop up and tell me whether there's something new for early access or whether it be a brand new update for something, maybe even a brand new like patch notes for something I've been waiting for. Who knows? But when I seen this game pop up, I wanted to give it a shot. It's $14 on Steam, full asking price, and the game is called the Explorator. Now, the thing with this game is, we're going to get into some negatives and positives, but mostly my 2 cents as to my experience playing it. The reason why I picked this game up was because it had the weird aesthetic of like, kind of like a real life setting, like where the environment kind of looks like it's pretty realistic, or I guess like the Roger Rabbit type of world to where it's the real world but you have cartoon characters. That's the main reason why I got this game, because I wanted something that was kind of like Cuphead, or maybe even like I seen that one game from Summer Games Fest to where it was like Mouse P.I. to where it shows like cartoon characters being shot at with cartoon guns. That's essentially what I felt like when I played Explorator, to where you have these creatures, I don't know what the hell they're called, but you're going up against these blue creatures called the goblins, and these guys don't like you. They're coming at you with swords. They'll shoot at you with rifles, shotguns, and they even have helmets on their head. But they're coming after you with helicopters, dive bombing you with missiles, blowing you up with torpedoes, doing a bunch of other stuff. And you can grab their helmet, which gives you coin, and you can get their ammo for whatever they drop, whether it be a shotgun, rifle, pistol, whichever, or even drop med kits, bandages, and so on. Now, the thing when it comes down to this game is that when you first start off, you're currently on a ship, and you're being attacked. So you're basically having to go and survive getting shot at by all these different goblins coming after you using bandages and med kits. You can use bread, you can use water to heal, but it's not very much. Water is mainly used for stamina, while bread and everything else heals you slowly, but that's a gradual slowness compared to using a med kit or a syringe. Syringe is instant, med kit heals you full, and it's also gradually up there, so it's not going to be like an instant, oh, you have no health to full health. The other thing is that they'll drop guns. That's actually ammunition. If you thought you could be able to pick it up to use it, not really the case. There are other guns you could find in the game, like an Uzi, a two-barrel shotgun, a carbine, and some other guns as well, like the Atlantean weapons that you normally see when you get to the actual like hub world of the game. After that short cutscene where it shows your ship being destroyed by the goblin fleet, you go into this island, and now this is where all the bugs start to happen. When you go into this area, reminder to have your graphics settings set to very, very low. And the reason why is because you will start dropping frames drastically. This game has a lot of unoptimization issues, but that being said, in early access, it's not something I'm going to completely like rip into. It's just really annoying. Not to mention when you go into the underground abyss area, there's actually places that have a lot of enemies and a lot of like loading with a lot of buildings and some other things that become incredibly hard to fight or do anything because the FPS is so low. Another thing that will actually happen if you stay too long on a table or bounces too much, your character will instantly die or take a lot of health. But after you get done talking to the veteran explorer, he gives you two maps. Another problem is the maps don't work whenever you pick them up. What they do instead actually is they give you a compass that has nothing on it. It's completely gray. Normally it would pop up with the map showing you where to go and probably what objectives that need to be done, but instead are grayed out so you can't really know exactly where to go. If you look on top of the screen, they have a question mark there. That's essentially where you have to go to a specific quest that you might have found one inside of another hub world, or maybe talk to another explorer about going to and finding another weapon or finding another quest item. Again, when it comes down to that balancing stuff, I found a way to be able to get rid of it, and that's by jumping with your character. When it comes down to the combat itself, I do like the shooting. The shooting is pretty good, though the reload animations are weird, to where instead of just showing an animation of getting like a reload done, cocking the cylinder out, or reloading each bullet, even though the only gun that I've ever seen that has an animation is the Uzi. The pistol and the carbine, as well as a shotgun, just go and look like the guy is reloading underhand, and it's just a still picture image of the actual gun itself. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that if you reload your gun, don't think of some crazy animation that's going to pop up with reloading in the cylinder using the revolver, or being able to put the bullets inside of the carbine, or do like a crazy knock out the 2 shotgun shells and reload it. It's just a normal bouncing up and down type of reload, so maybe that might be changed. One big positive I will say about this game is that a lot of these levels are huge. This place is massive. There's a lot of different areas like geysers. You have a church that has a giant deity from the Atlantean era of their specific story. You have these big jungle/underground biomes that have people attacking you inside ruins. You have a lot of these other people that are going around everywhere and trying to chase you with other guns. You have slimes that come and try to burn you alive. There's a lot of different things in this game that I wish had more stuff in it. It seems like it's a giant world with not a whole lot of stuff to be able to interact with, whether it be getting items, whether it be getting weapons, whether it be getting new treasure. It's not a whole lot going on. And that being said, I have seen people on the comment section on Steam criticizing them for this. And I don't think that's something that they should be doing. Yes, it is early access. Yes, it has a lot of issues, like with audio, for example, to where this is the lowest I could possibly go in terms of audio setting. It's super loud still. And that's just the bubble area that has the slime bubbles pop up and hit you with acid or caustic damage. There's nothing I can really do about the audio because it's all imbalanced, sadly. Another thing is you have a lot of these weird creatures that kind of just huddle up and want to bite you. If you're on top of a bigger area, they can't get to you. And then you have the slime, which is the googly-eyed slime, to where they bounce around and they spray stuff at you. Now, these guys are kind of funny looking, so I was like, you know what, might as well let him live, walk around, see what he does. And he kept spitting at me, so I just shot at him. But they normally pop up in those green circles over there, and you can jump over them because they're not that big. I did talk about it earlier on, but I wanted to show off the church as well. This is actually what it looks like inside the church. It's not just a small corridor or like a small hallway like you'd see in a church. It's huge. It's gigantic. You have this huge cathedral, and then you have this deity in the middle to where it's like a butterfly. When you go over to it and press the E button, it actually tells you that this was like an Atlantis type of deity that was worshipped during that time and so on. Not a whole lot of interactivity, but it's still pretty cool looking to see basically how small you are in such a huge ass building. And I mean huge. Not to mention when you come into the hub world, you have like these other people talking, explorers and different quest givers. You have a merchant that you buy weapons, ammunition, and so on from. And the other thing when it comes down to this is that I wish there was more items that you could pick up. In the description during the features, it says you're able to scavenge around the world and loot stuff. You're not getting a whole lot of things, to be honest. It's mostly medkits, bullets, and things that you need to survive, like bread, water, and so on. You're not finding like treasure chests. You're not finding like a bunch of different ammo and weapons. You're not finding just junk on the ground. There's nothing really there. And I wish there was more stuff in the world to go off and find in the corner somewhere and then get a reward, or finding a secret and getting a crap ton from that and then selling it to the merchant so I get a crap ton of money and then buy whatever stuff he has. He also has different guns you can get, from a light pistol to a heavy pistol, a shotgun, a carbine, and even body armor. But we'll mainly have med kits and ammunition, so if you want to buy some more ammo, though it's 200 coins per box and you only get 20 each, it's not going to be worth getting, because if you do go and fight, you will see a lot of people drop ammunition for the guns that you need or that you currently have, mostly pistol ammo and carbine ammo. If I did find shotgun ammo, it was like inside of these corridors, or even some of the places that have chests/boxes that have other items squared around the entire area. Another thing I wanted to point out was when it came down to the canteen and coming in here, it does have a decent ambience to it, to where it has like a music that's playing on repeat, but then you have some people talking to each other. You have different type of explorers with like goggles on their heads, or you have the scholar. You have like, of course, Bobby the merchant, and some other people that are basically the same thing as you, which just wears a hat, overcoat, and a backpack. The other thing when it comes down to the voiceover dialogue is that the only voiceover I hear is not so much of you and your friends, but rather the goblins that you fight, because they'll say different things like, come over here, or enemy detected, or needs band-aid or bandage, or man down, or something like that. And that's all they really say, and hopefully that can get improved later. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind reading some stuff when it comes down to games if it doesn't have voiceover dialogue, but if they were to go ahead and improve it and make it better, they could add voiceover dialogue for the main quest line that you go off and fight inside the abyss, or you have to go find like equipment that was abandoned a long time ago at some excavation site, or maybe a side mission to where you go and find an old abandoned squad at some outpost somewhere with some weapons and some other ammunition, grenades, medkits, and maybe even a treasure that they originally got and they were supposed to bring back. Whatever works, that would be a pretty nice thing or a nice touch up when the game gets improved later on, because it is early access. My experience playing this game for almost 2 hours is this. The game is $14 full asking price for a early access title. There's not a whole lot of stuff within it. It does have a lot of unoptimization issues and rendering problems. It does have a wide open world, but not a lot of items to pick up or rewards to get. And then, of course, you have a lot of problems with the abyss itself. When you come and backtrack, like say, for example, to the caverns, it's not going to show you everything that's rendered or loaded up. Like, for example, when I was in there beforehand, there's a lot of plants and animals and some other things. When I come into this area, I can't even go back to where I was, which was the church, and be able to progress in other missions. Instead, they throw me in this limbo of darkness in which I'm wandering around aimlessly, not knowing exactly where to go, which another thing I wish they would do is if you're going to have a quest pop up, have at least some of them be near me, or show me in the compass if the map's broken so that I know exactly the cardinal direction to go to. Accepting quests but not actually having the marker to pop up and go to that specific direction, it's going to be impossible on maps like these. Once again, talking about for how big and wide the actual maps are, from the church to the hotel or even the dark cavern, it's going to be very hard to figure out where you're even at. But before the end of the video, like I said, I wanted to talk about this and my experience playing it. I still think it's pretty fun, and I can't wait to see what more stuff they do with it. I'm probably going to stick with it because it was pretty appealing for me playing those 2 hours of actual gameplay. But that being said, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been the Explorator video. Thanks for watching as per usual, and I'll see you in the next one.